Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, good afternoon and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. I hope you are all doing well today. Today almost feels too quiet, doesn't it? We've had, since Sunday, just madness after madness as a Leeds United fan base, but today it just seems quite quiet. Before we get into the video, let me just say as well, folks, we are now less than 100 people away from 30k, which means we can give away them Willie Nonto signed shirts, okay? We've got 3, home, away and third, enter the competition, be in it to win it, and all that jazz. So yeah, please subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video, get your comments in the live chat as well, and of course hit the notification bell so you never miss a beat. If you remember the other day, we did a video looking at Premier League players that are now on free that Leeds United could go and take a look at. Well, now we're going to be switching it up slightly and having a look at some top Premier League loanees that Leeds United could go and have a look at. Now, there has been another article done on the YEP, so big up to them for sort of like helping me with creating the content and doing a bit of investigative work myself and having a look at these players. Some we've heard before on the scouting report, which will be back soon as well. Don't watch this space, folks, all right? It's just been a bit manic at the minute. But let's get into it first and foremost. Like, you'll have heard of this player. Had an amazing season last season at Hull City, was involved against Leeds United in that game that we did eventually win after the penalty was given at Elland Road, but that player is Tyler Morton. Tyler Morton has had, he's at Liverpool, has had successful loan spells now at Blackburn Rovers. He joined them on a season-long loan in 22, made 46 appearances. He then went to Hull City and was great at Hull City. And I almost feel like the next step for him, and this is no shade thrown at Hull City, is to a team that's going to get promoted, or at least be in with a shout of the title for me anyway. Look, it'd be interesting to see if Tyler Morton maybe gets a look in pre-season under new Liverpool manager Arne Slot. I'm not too sure, but he's definitely one that I'd be looking at. Like, known for his versatility and tenacity on the field, promising talent, and obviously them loan spells at Blackburn and Hull City have given him valuable experience that he can help Leeds United with. Still a young player, but great on the pitch, is known for leadership skills at such a young age as well. Primarily operates as a holding midfielder. I know we've got Ampadu, we've got Gruev, etc., but you can never have enough midfielders. I'll come back to that fact that during the playoff final, we had no midfielders on the bench. All we had is defenders. So he's apt at shielding the defence, breaking up opposition attacks and distributing the ball effectively. Can play in that deep lying playmaker role, where he can orchestrate players from deeper positions. Something that we've seen Ampadu do and Gruev do for a couple of games. Whenever I've seen Tyler Morton for Hull, he's been able to dictate the pace of games and create attacks from deep as well. Has great vision and passing. Great passing range as well, long range passes to switch play, which is something again that Gruev did for a while. And I do start to think, is it something that Farke didn't, sort of like trained out of him, if you like, asked him not to do? I hope not. Great at ball retention as well, very press resistant, rarely gives away possession cheaply, which is something, that in some of the big games we tended to do, if I'm honest, in dangerous areas as well. Reads the game well, times his tackles effectively, great work rate as well. I think any Liverpool player, under, I know they've changed manager now, but any sort of young player, if you look at them, Connor Bradley, all these players that have spent time on loan, even a fullback we're going to have a look up in a minute in Owen Beck, who's been on loan in Scotland, they're all known for their work rate because this is something that's built into them from young. If you're getting close to the first team, if you're in pre-season or anywhere close, like Tyler Morton has been in the past and worked with the first team, then best believe you need to be able to have crazy amounts of work rate. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to rest on your laurels. Great technical skills as well. Great first touch, shooting. Great from set pieces as well, which adds an extra dimension to him. very intelligent on the pitch as well, and like I said, despite his young age, these loan spells and being at Liverpool, he's really apt at showing leadership qualities on the field, communicating with teammates, organising the midfield, and I just think, for me, I would be all over Tyler Morton. Like, we've spoke about him a few times on this channel, to be fair, where I've said, listen, like, if you could get anyone on loan, he'd be someone I'd definitely be looking at. I think he's a top prospect. And having, like I said, Blackburn, Hull, let's take him and let him take that next step of getting promoted to the Premier League. The only issue I have is, like, in that deep line playmaker role, if you do have Ampadu back in midfield with the centre-back coming in, what's the game time going to look like? That's the problem, isn't it? He's not getting in over Ampadu. Would argue I'll probably play him ahead of Gruev, but we've bought Gruev. Gruev's our player, so minutes might be difficult for Tyler Morton. And this is the thing with Liverpool. You have to give them minutes, because if not, they'll just pull them out. And they'll also put in a clause in there that says if they don't play, then you need to pay X amount more of his wages. This is probably what stopped us getting Carvalho in the end, who's also on this list by the YEP, but I just don't think it's something Leeds United will entertain, to be honest, because no one really is going to get guaranteed minutes, I don't think. I don't think Farke's the type of manager that would do that. So, yeah, as much as I would like Tyler Morton, I'm probably talking myself out of it just because we've got players in that position, although you can never have too many players. But he's a certain skill set that would fit into a certain role that we've probably already got a very good level of player in Ethan Ampadu, all right? So maybe not on Tyler Morton, actually. I'm talking myself out of it live, aren't I? Sticking with Liverpool, though, on a player I just mentioned just a second ago, Owen Beck, okay? Obviously, it'll be interesting to see what happens with these players, because new manager, everyone's got a fresh slate. Will he get given a shot? Spent last season on loan at Dundee in Scotland, and he made the Scotland Team of the Year. So he'll be looking for more game time, next season, one way or another, be that at Liverpool or out on loan as well. He has played for Liverpool, like Morton as well. I think it was in the EFL trophy or one of them games, has had loan spells in Portugal and at Bolton, but then joined Premiership club Dundee on a season-long loan this season. Got in the Scotland Team of the Year. Great defensively, solid tackling, wins his duels, committed tackler as well, great in one-on-one duels, which are, he's not afraid as well to put in a strong challenge, sort of a throwback type fullback, if you like. And as I say, his timing and technique in tackling is very, very reliable, which is something you could maybe, as good as Firpo's been, maybe look at him and say, yeah, that's one area where it does let him down defensively. Great at crossing as well. That's an asset. Delivers inviting crosses into the box, especially when overlapping down that left flank. Great crossing accuracy, and has variety as well. Low-driven crosses, whip balls, lofted deliveries. He's an attacking threat, in them situations. And he's got decent pace as well. Very, very good pace. So it allows him to overlap and join the attack, to decent effect. It's going to be interesting to find out what happens with Firpo. We'll probably get the return list probably Monday now, if we haven't had it already by, we haven't, have we? What time? We're now like 1:30ish, 3ish. Yeah, nothing about as of yet. So we'll have to wait and see. But Owen Beck could come in and challenge someone like Firpo, or maybe even take the number one spot if Firpo does leave. So Owen Beck would be someone, I would take a look at least, depending on what finances are like. Do we need to buy someone permanently if Firpo leaves, with looking to the long-term future? Could this guy come in as a loan just for this season and then reevaluate it if we were to get promoted? It all depends on what happens with Firpo, but we need someone to be underneath him. Again, though, with Liverpool, it's whether or not they would be happy for him to be second choice, especially when he's gone and got first team minutes. You don't then want to take a backward step and then be sat on the bench again. Do you know what I mean? So they might be looking for a club where he's guaranteed that. Can we guarantee him that? Maybe not. He is versatile though, can play left-sided centre-back as well in certain formations, so that can add something to the game as well. It's just whether or not, I don't see us ever playing with a back three, well, a back five, three centre-backs and two wing-backs really. Owen Beck, take a look, but as I say, it's more a case of like, Can we give him the game time? Do we want him to be number one left back going into next season? I'm not too sure. Let me know your thoughts on Owen Beck. Next, we're going to be moving on to the striker position. We're going to be talking about another player that was on loan at Hull. Hull had some top loanees last season, and the more you talk about them, the more you think, yeah, Rosenior should have done more. And for me, they would have done more had this player been fit. And that player is Liam Delap. Okay, powerful throwback centre forward. Was on Hull on loan at Hull last season. They want to re-sign him. I believe they want him back on loan. He bagged 8 goals in 31 appearances. He's made his first team debut for Manchester City back in 2020. During the 22 season as well, he made appearances in the FA Cup and Premier League, contributing to the success that season. Physical, strong, dominating centre forward, direct, aggressive, great finishing ability as well. Just a natural instinct for goal. Can finish with both feet. Particularly lethal in one-on-one situations with goalkeepers, which is something that sometimes I think Bamford lacks at. Great in the air as well, which is something we need, and his work rate in pressing is second to none. So, look, Liam Delap would be a top signing for me. You're going to face competition because, like I say, Hull City are going to take another look at him. He's not going to get game time at City. He's not going to have a future at City. They do. He was very highly rated there, like he was given a long-term deal, I think, till 2025, but his loan spells and whatnot, you don't see a future at City, right? But they'll be looking to increase his value to a point where they can sell him on. I'd look to compete with Hull City for Liam Delap. But again, at Leeds United, what do you do with Mateo Joseph? Can you even offload Bamford? If you can't, he's going to be on the bench. You've got Joel Pirro. I'd be making Joseph my starting number 9. But if Farke is in the hunt for a new number 9, I'd be looking at Liam Delap for sure. Go and compete with Hull City. It's clear they've got money. It's clear they're not afraid to spend it, having seen what they've done in January. And, having spoke to Hull fans regularly, had he not got injured for the running, they think that he got top 6. He was that vital to them. They were playing without a striker at times. But yeah, Liam Delap would be a massive yes for me. Another Premier League player now just burst onto the scene, if you like, George Earthy. Plays at West Ham, plays in the 10. He made 3 appearances towards the end of the season, got 1 goal in the Premier League. I spoke to Danny Lawless earlier on, and he's not sure whether or not he'll be allowed out on loan. It's one to keep an eye on. Don't know an awful lot about him, because as I say, we've only seen the 3 Prem appearances, hasn't spent time out on loan as of yet, come through their youth academy. Flynn Downs was also mentioned, but Flynn Downs either gets a chance at West Ham, which I know Lawless is keen with, or gets sold to Southampton. So, I know he plays in a different position to Flynn Downs does Earthy, but, looking at West Ham, what will his minutes be like? Will it be wise for him to go out and get a loan? I would argue, yeah. So it's definitely one to watch, because he's clearly an exciting prospect. So if, West Ham are open to offers, then yeah, of course, plays in the 10, wouldn't be starting, I wouldn't think, at Leeds United, but would definitely get minutes more so than he would at West Ham in the Premier League. So let's entertain that if it becomes an option. I just don't feel like it will become an option. I'm not too sure what you guys think. A lot older now, and again, we're going to be speaking about a Nottingham Forest centre-back. It's Joe Worrell. Like Scott McKenna, one I would take, the difference being Scott McKenna's free, Joe Worrell, still at the football club, has been there since 2016 and been a key player for the club. Don't forget, back in August 22, he was made captain. I had someone coming in my comment, I spoke to a Forest friend, and Worrell's rubbish. Oh yeah, so rubbish that they made him captain when they got to the Premier League. Yeah, right. So it's BS. Look, Joe Worrell's your meat and potatoes. Let's not beat around the bush, but a very good centre-back, especially at Championship level. Obviously spent last season on loan at Besiktas in Turkey. For whatever reason, Nuno doesn't fancy him. He played a couple of games under Nuno and then he's changed. And we know with Forest, they've got about 100 players in every position. So he's going to be available. I think they'll try and sell him, and I would still look at that. This all depends, though, if obviously you're getting Joe Rodon or not, and he's still not said bye to the club. So I think they're working on a deal for me. But if not, then Joe Worrell would definitely be an option, especially if you could get him on loan. Great in the air, great positioning and reading of the game, solid tackler, physical, which is sometimes what we've lacked. great leadership skills, as I said, made, Forest captain by Steve Cooper, comfortable on the ball as well. So Joe Worrell, meat and potatoes, bring him in if you do need a centre-back or you need options there. He's someone we looked at in the past, just like Chris Meppen and other names that have been linked. So if he's available on loan, yes. If he's available on a transfer for a low fee, yeah. We're probably going to be losing Cooper. You need someone like this in the dressing room. So I think Joe Worrell's a great shout, especially if you can get him on loan. Now, we're going to be talking about Rak-Sakyi next. Listen, we spoke about him last summer, and he was on the scouting report. I can't remember if it was Andrea or Lockie, and I remember Leicester were linked to him for a while as well. And for whatever reason, the decision was made at Crystal Palace to keep him about the place. Barely played. I think he played 6 times. Yeah, he did get an injury, but prior to that, he'd been on loan at Charlton Athletic in League One in 22-23. He scored 15 goals, and registered 8 assists. I think he got Supporters Player of the Year that season. The progression should have been for him to get a Championship loan last season for me. Crystal Palace decided against it. Look, he's an exciting young talent, known for his flair, agility, versatility. He can play on the right or left, but has also played in attacking areas as well in the 10, even as a striker at times. So fast, great acceleration, can burst past opponents, whether on the wing or through the middle. Reads the game well as well. Obviously, his movement's great, which really enables, him to exploit gaps and create gaps for his opponents as well. We need, a midfielder, 10 that's going to get ahead of the striker at times, which we haven't seen enough of, in my opinion, and definitely not seen enough finishing. So Rak-Sakyi is able to open doors like that, takes risks as well, attempts at audacious dribbling and isn't afraid to shoot from distance. My only concern is with Rak-Sakyi. Do I think he should be getting game time? Yes. Would I take him 100%? Probably more so than any other player on this list. I do really like, Tyler Morton, but I'm just not sure if he would fit because of the players we've already got. There's another player coming up as well that's quite exciting and one we could maybe look at. But yeah, the thing is with Rak-Sakyi, it depends what happens with Elise, right? It depends what happened with Eze. I think Elise will leave in the summer. Does Rak-Sakyi then be given a chance at Crystal Palace or get closer to some more game time? Obviously, the new manager came in as well, Glasner, so might be a difficult one to do, but I almost feel his career stalled last season due to him staying in the Premier League. And I know he got injured for a period, but he played a hell of a lot at Charlton in League One. He should have then been given a loan to the Championship, and if he is, then Leeds need to be all over it, especially when you consider Willie Gnonto, Somerville, they're going to be leaving, so he would be a perfect replacement on loan for either of them players for me. So yeah, Jeshurun Rak-Sakyi, if you can make it happen, make it happen. Tottenham now, Tottenham and Will Lancashire. Listen, at Tottenham, right, there is many options. I'll just say quite a few at Spurs. So maybe have a conversation. Greta Steinson, do your bits, Dane Scarlett, Ashley Phillips, Alfie Devine. Scarlett was on loan at Ipswich, got recalled, I think, due to Son going to the Asia Cup. Ashley Phillips and Alfie Devine did very well at Plymouth, more so Ashley Phillips at centre-back again. Another one we could look at. They're all worth a look. But the one that's really exciting is Will Lancashire. Now, he was initially part of Arsenal's academy before joining Sheffield United in 21, and then Tottenham bought him for $2 million at the time in August 22. Hasn't made his senior debut yet, but in the under-21s league, the Premier League 2, 19-year-old forward scored 25 goals in 26 games for Spurs as well. There's interest already for Middlesbrough. He was named the Premier League 2 player of the season. Wants to emulate Kane, saying all the right things. Kane had a loan at Preston. He's also come out and said, I want to impress Ange Postecoglou in pre-season. I feel it's too soon for him. But for me, yeah, if you want to emulate Kane, you want to loan and all that sort of stuff, then come to Leeds United. This is one that could really challenge for minutes with someone like Joseph, right? Maybe they want someone with more experience, but you've got that with Pat on the bench. I just like the idea that he's not had a senior minutes yet, and you're like, right, let's give him a loan, and bang, he just goals left, right, and centre. Middlesbrough are looking for a reason. They've made some great loan additions to their squad of late. Have a decent scouting network based on recent times, anyway. They're doing some decent stuff there. I think Isaiah Jones was picked up from non-league as well. So yeah, I like the sound, and you know, what a read, and having done a bit of work, Will Lancashire be all over for sure. And another forward as well that I think's worth a look, probably won't excite a lot of people, but Jay Stansfield on loan from Fulham. To be fair to him, scored goals wherever he's been at Exeter when he was there before moving to Fulham, went back out on loan, smashed it there, went to Birmingham last season. He got 12 goals for relegated Birmingham, and we know how poor they were as well. So he's great. He's got great finishing ability, natural instinct for goal, that kind of goal-scoring ability that you can't train, you know, that just comes. Clinical, close range, well-placed shot from distance. Work rate and pressing as well is right up there, so, you know, he contributes from a defensive standpoint as well. So, yeah, he's another. But I think for me, the big ones, like, I'd love a look at Will Lancashire. I know he's not had professional minutes yet, but not a bad player. Premier League 2 player of the season, 25 goals in 26 games, wants to emulate Kane. Over you come. Raksaki as well, he's another one at Crystal Palace. I just think he might get minutes. Joe Worrell I'd take as well, and like I say, I love Tyler Morton and stuff, but I'm just not sure where he fits in at Leeds and if he'd just get enough game time. We know what Liverpool are like. Other mentions in the article as well were Callum Doyle. Didn't have a great time at Leicester. I know he was injured, but not for me. Lewis Dobbin was mentioned, but he played 13 times in the Premier League for Everton. Don't see that happening. Sami Ento as well, who's someone I said I would have taken in January, but I almost feel like Sami Ento needs to make a decision on his career. He's clearly talented, but he's been on loan at West Brom, didn't start. Been on loan at Ipswich, didn't start, although had key moments. So yeah, what does Sami Ento and Brighton do? Because if he comes in at Leeds, he's again going to be riding bench and he ain't coming off it. Ryan Fraser was mentioned. Can't stand that footballer, by the way, but I believe he's staying at Saints. I didn't realise till after the final that he actually played with Martin before, so they've got a good relationship. He'll go there. Hannibal at Manchester United, but again, he was on loan at Sevilla. Doesn't come to the Championship for me. Carvalho, nah, he'll want so much game time. I don't know if his star or his right, like the move to Liverpool came too soon. I don't know. It might be one of them that just doesn't work out. Don't know. Flynn Downs, ain't no way. Amari Hutchinson, ain't no way. And Gilchrist as well, ain't no way. You know, had game time and scored for Chelsea towards the back end of the season. So, nah. But yeah, definite for me. I'm taking Raksaki. I'm having a look at Will Lancashire. I'm having a dabble at Joe Worrell. And yeah, maybe Tyler Morton. I'd love Tyler Morton as a top player, but where does he fit in? I don't know. Yeah. Remains to be seen. But yeah, listen, let me know your thoughts on the loans, the must-sign Premier League loans, if you like. We've gone through and had a look at some that are available. I want to know your thoughts in the comments. Is there anyone else that you would potentially have a look at? Let me know. Please smash a like on the video on your way out. Subscribe as well, so close to 30k. Get the comments in the live chat and after the fact, and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Leeds.